So to get started, we'll open up a folder in our VS Code, and inside that folder, we'll create a file which we'll call index.html. This will be our HTML file. We'll then generate our boilerplate code. From there, we'll change the title to Bouncing Ball Effect. Good. Now, inside the body of our HTML, we'll create a div with a class named container. And inside that div, we'll create two more divs with a class name ball and plane. That's it for our HTML file. Now let's head over to create our styles.css file. Having created our styles.css file, before we write any styles, we would want to link it to our HTML file. And in order to do that, we'll move right beneath the title tag and we'll link our styles.css file. Good. Now let's write some styles. In our styles.css file, we'll first of all use the universal selector and we'll set every margin to 0. Every padding as well to 0. And we'll set our box sizing property to border box. Good. Let's head over to the HTML file, and this time around we'll view our HTML file using our live server extension. So we'll open with live server and we'll split the screen between our browser and our text editor, which is VS Code. Boom. So this time any styles we apply would be very visible on the right side. The next thing we are going to style is our container. What we want to do with our container is that we want it to have a width of 100% and a height of 100 viewport width, 100 viewport height, sorry. Also, we want it to center everything, right? We want to center everything in the middle of the screen. So using our container class, we'll give it a display of flex. Having done giving it a display of flex, we'll now give it a justify content center and align items center. This will center everything in the container. We can't see the effect just yet because we are about to now style our ball and our plane. So in order to style our ball, we'll give it a width of 25 pixels and a height of 25 pixels as well. Give it a background color of red. Good. So now we can see our ball. Now there is no ball that has a square. So in order to achieve the round effect, what we'll do is that we'll give it a border radius of 50%. This is going to make it very round. Go, just like that. The next thing we'll do is we'll set our animations on it, the animation property on it. So an animation, and we'll call our animation bounce. We want it to last for 1 second. The iteration count is infinite, and we'll do linear. So let's just define our animation, right? We'll use the at keyframes and the identifier is bounce. So we would have at 0%, we want our ball to transform. We'll be using the transform property and we want it to translate along the y-axis. that is to move up and down, right? Now when it's at 0%, we want it to be 0, and we'll just duplicate this, and at 50% we want our ball to travel 250 pixels upwards, right? So we'll have it 250 that way, 250 pixels. Good. And over here we'll just simply make it 100%. We want it to retain. So that's all for our bounce animation. This is what we want to do, right? So it should be working now. Infinite, sorry, I spelled this wrongly, that's why it's not working. Good. So we see our ball bouncing, right? So another thing we want is that just as our ball is about to bounce off the plane, the invisible plane, we want it to enlarging, and then as it goes into the air, it returns to its normal state. So in order to do that, we'll simply type scale x, and we'll give it 1.3, and that will give it that effect. So as you can see, as the ball is just about to bounce, or as it bounces and it moves upwards, it stretches. Do you see that? And that's because we have placed the scale x, we've scaled the x 1.3 times, right? So the next thing, the final thing we want to do is to just style our plane. We want to style our plane, we want to make the plane visible. To do that, we'll simply give our plane a height of 2 pixels, 2 pixels with width 30 pixels. Let's make it 50 pixels, right? And what we want to do as well is that we want it to be positioned absolute. So position absolute. Let's give it a background color of black so that we can see it. Good. So that's our plane, right? And because it's now positioned absolute, we can give it a top of about 52% so that it will be right beneath our ball. So top of about 52%. Good. So now this makes our animation much more realistic. And that's just about it for this video. If you like to improve your HTML and CSS skills, check out the playlist I'll leave down in the description below, and hit the like button, subscribe to this channel if you want to see more web development content. I'll see you in the next one.